Attempt a skill check for the skill corresponding to your tradition. So, Briny Bolt is either arcane or primal. So, whichever one is your giving you access to it, go ahead and attempt that skill roll. Okay. You learn it with flying colors. It only takes you 40 minutes instead of the full hour to learn it. Anybody else? Lucian, are you just singing this whole time?
I suppose.
You make
No, I,
5 gold.
I'm an instrumentalist, not a singer.
Okay, sorry. You're playing your harpsichord the whole time? Well, actually,
My lute.
do you want the loot? Okay. All right. You make if you play for the next 2 days, you're going to make 5 gold.
Well, I'll play for the current day. Is that 2.5?
It's 2 gold.
I don't know what we're doing the next day, so.
Okay? That's a lot of gold. People are
Well,
coming from far and wide to hear you perform.
I don't know. I just try and investigate to see if there might potentially be any malcontent in the back alleys of the town.
To stab them or to join them?
No, they. I mean,
Both.
What do you
like
look
more in relation to like the actual like investigation that we're dealing with right now.
Okay.
Just to see if I can find any information on it.
So you want to do
Any
some professional skulking?
kind of,
sounds of
yeah.
it? Okay. All right. Give me a stealth roll, followed by a perception roll.
Perception.
Okay. So you skulk with the best of them, and you are able to overhear a lot of people, tons of rumors, right? People are talking about how most people are concerned that the village is cursed, given how small it is and all the mayhem that happened 5 years ago, and then they thought that they had finally gotten past it, and then a goblin raid happens. You overhear a rumor about there's a child who swears that their friend's dad was eaten by a goblin or something like that um, in their house, like and it's clear that he's talking about like after the raid happened, right? So it would have been yesterday or the day before. um, you hear a story that the ghost of the chopper is back, essentially. um, you hear and that he's the one who's responsible. You hear that the dead have risen kind of situation, and they're coming back for the revenge of on the people that are still living here. um, you do overhear quite a few people being grateful that the your group is in town, and they know that they feel like they can be relatively safe with that. There doesn't seem to be at this point any sort of thought that there is an inside person or an inside job. People, I think, are oblivious enough that they're not putting that together just yet. But there's definitely questions being asked in terms of like maybe there was um, a evil merchant that delivered all the barrels, right? That had the goblins in them. Um, I'll see if you here's something else. Hold on.
I realize these were high rolls, so that
Yeah. I mean, some of it's impossible to tell which ones of these are just pure conjecture or rumor, and which
Yeah.
ones actually have. Yeah. Um, and I'd say that you also hear. Um, yeah, I'd say that you also hear that. There's like maybe one or two people who when you guys are brought up say yeah, you know, everything was great until they showed up, but they immediately get kind of shouted down by the other people who were there, right? So it's just like um there's the one person who is, you know, kind of a negative Nancy or contrarian, who gets shouted down pretty quickly from the other people.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, if that's the fruit of my investigation, I will let everyone kind of like know what's going on.
Okay. So, the next 2 days, unless anybody has anything else that they want to do, I'm just gonna pass the next 2 days.
I
I'll
mean,
probably look for some work just to make some money.
Okay.
yeah, I'll probably try and generate income using, I think it's crafting.
Sure. Rakana, do you want to find work at the docks,
Yeah.
hauling stuff? Okay.
That's probably
Um,
best.
Go ahead and give me a diplomacy check followed by an athletics check. Okay. So you're able to find work and you generate 2 gold.
You say
You're,
2?
yep, 2 gold. Hauling ass, man. Moving all sorts of goods around. You do
Okay.
make sure to stay away from any barrels. Yeah, no, you're becoming quite well known in the docks, and some of the other like dock workers are not disgruntled because frankly you're not doing it for that long, but they get maybe a little peeved. They're like, oh, why don't you just ask her to do it, kind of situation, because you're the first person that the dock hands who are responsible for loading and unloading stuff. They come to you first before going to anybody else because you're proving quite proficient in it. But you do, well, I should ask you, you have an opportunity to, you know, become friendly with some of the dock workers,
Um,
or you
she
can keep to
try,
yourself.
but not try very hard.
Okay,
Like she
I
might
mean,
try to chat with them, but if they seem seem to have a problem with me, I don't want to push it.
yeah, no, you know, at before you when you kept to yourself, they seem a little put off, but when you make just any attempt at all, they do seem to, you know, respect you for how hard you work and the fact that you can move heavy objects is, you know, that gets you some respect pretty quickly. And you begin to kind of, you know, become friendly and know people's names and stuff like that. So the doc foreman is certainly very pleased with you, but that's more of a professional, oh, she can get stuff done for me quickly, as
Mhm.
opposed to the other workers, you know, see you as a peer. No, I get it, peer. Haha. Fun.
Uh,
Eh.
That hurt my soul a little.
um. Okay, and then Elaine, go ahead and give me a crafting roll.
I want to go with Danny to assist.
Okay, well, she did fantastic even without you.
Nice.
But you
But
can feel free.
what I mean is that I'd just go with her because I was also planning to just do a crafting for income thing. So
Okay, go ahead.
we hanging out?
yeah.
We hanging out, Blondie?
Although
Us
hopefully my roll
shorties?
doesn't tank yours. Let's see. Crafting. Okay, it's not terrible.
Okay. So you both make 1 gold, 5 silver.
Nice. And we also become deeper friends.
And you become deeper
Woo.
friends.
Us shorties gotta stick together, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
That's when
Question
you
about the
became
toadies.
closer.
question about this. Go ahead.
I've bought the moderate star grenade. Would you let me or allow me to invent the lesser one from that one?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, that's an easy one.
Then that's how I would spend my downtime.
Okay, no problem. So you'll have that. Anybody else?
Did
I
you
would
tell
just
us how
be with
much we
the group.
made?
It was 1.5
Yeah,
gold.
1.5 gold
Okay.
each of you. Yep.
So 1 gold, 5 silver.
I'm kind of
The
getting rich here.
Mar,
Yeah.
the first night, how do you want to test the system to make sure that it's working?
Ooh.
Light a fire.
I would
I mean,
just
just a
nudge.
simple.
I
let
would just
everybody else-
nudge one of
Okay.
them and see if they wake up.
Okay.
Who are you nudging?
Cow.
So, we'll assume
Carl,
that
you
you're
get
the,
woken up in the middle of the night.
so you'll be one of the last to go to sleep with I guess damage, will you be sleeping in the room knowing
No.
Okay, so you're
It's
even
anathema.
Okay, all right, no problem. So
So that would incur heavy penalties for me.
got it. So damage Forrest will wait for the others to fall asleep with Rose, if that makes sense. And then once they're clearly asleep, or does one person want to be the volunteer that goes to sleep first, as opposed to everybody going to sleep and then you testing with one person? Probably one person just wants to volunteer. Who's that going to be?
I mean, Danny's always willing to go to sleep.
Okay. So Danny floats off to sleep this evening on the first night. Rose, gently prods her to wake her up, and with what you would consider normal, amount of interaction, it does appear that she's able to rouse relatively easily.
Okay.
Is Danny a light sleeper or a heavy sleeper?
I imagine Danny being a heavy sleeper, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Danny would be a heavy sleeper considering.
Okay.
I
Certain
think I'd probably test
things.
it on a few more people and then I would report back to what's her face?
Okay. Bethania?
Yeah.
Bethania, what's her face? Okay.
Yeah.
We've only said her name like 15,000 times this
I
particular
already
episode.
forgot.
But that's all right. It's all right. It's no problem. So you want to go to the sphere that's the same color as your debuff, Mar. That's how that
Okay,
works,
too
right?
much.
It's a
So
square, but yeah.
okay, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, so she's very pleased at that, but you can definitely tell that she's worried about something. So the first night comes and goes. Second day, damage, you go. I'm sorry, Forest, you go to pick up your barding, which is available.
Yep.
And it fits beautifully.
Awesome.
Sava's
Yay.
incredibly impressed with herself. The rest of the day kind of passes, and then you guys, I'm assuming you're keeping normal hours as far as breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Sure.
Okay. So at dinner that evening, there is nobody there at the Rusty Dragon except for you guys. And Bethania comes out of the back, and she has a piece of parchment in her hand, with a very concerned look on her face. And it is in handout 1-1 under journal now. And she says that I Amiko has not returned yet, and so I'm embarrassed to say that I went into her room and I found this note. And I can read it for you. Hello.
Forrest will read it.
Okay, sure, please.
Can't read.
Right.
Well, Rose has been helping me out the last 2 days.
Oh, I
think
have.
got it.
That's what
Yeah,
I've been
Right.
doing.
Yeah. So you've definitely learned to read in 2 days.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Go ahead then, Forrest. You got this.
Yeah.
Help.
Never mind. You don't got this.
Okay. You got the first little bit there. Hello, sis. I hope this letter finds you well and with some free time on your hands because we've got something of a problem. It has to do with father. Seems that he might have had something to do with Sandpoint's recent troubles with the goblins and didn't want to bring the matter to the authorities because we both know he'd just weasel his way out of it. We've got some pull here in town, though. If you can meet me at the Glassworks at midnight tonight, maybe we can figure out how to make sure he faces the punishment he deserves. Knock twice and then 3 times more and then once more at the delivery entrance, and I'll let you in. In any case, I don't have to impress upon you the delicate nature of this request. If news got out, you know these local rubes would assume that you and I were in on the whole thing too, don't you? They've got no honor at all around in these parts. I guess I still don't understand how you can stand to stay here. Anyway, don't tell anybody about this. There are other complications as well. Ones I'd rather talk to you in person about tonight. Don't be late. And that's
And-
where we'll end it.
Oh. Oh.
No!
Yeah.
But I'm having fun, Pouty.
Yeah, well,
How
sorry.
dare you, Patty?
Pouty!
No,
I heard 12 more hours. Okay.
What?
Go get your Red Bulls.
No. This is long enough.
No!
So yeah, that's a good place to call it. And next week is a late start, probably between 3:30 and 4 Eastern Standard Time.
Howdy.
Okay.
For those
Howdy.
I think next week is daylight savings for people.
Is it?
It is.
Is it?
Next Sunday is
Yeah.
Daylight Savings Day.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Isn't that?
Oh, no.
That
no.
is next
No,
weekend.
spring
We go
ahead. Oh.
forward an hour for a majority of us here, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that would be me too, though.
So
Yeah, but
Damage,
it's-
is
need
the one
that
who's,
spot.
Damage is the one who's got to do the math.
Yeah.
It's
so-
again not me too,
And-
because it's
yeah, and
again not the
and
same
Xavier,
time
yeah.
as Europe.
So I
Yeah.
think we'd start an hour earlier for me.
no,
We-
it's not earlier. It's still not an hour earlier for you. Oh, you
Yeah,
mean
it
that,
would
so?
be.
Like right now,
I
it
don't
is-
do daylight savings.
Right now it's
So
it's
right now we start at
4:13?
11:30.
But is it 4:13 your time currently?
Yes.
Okay. So so basically we're gonna start at 3:30. We'll call it 4 o'clock my time, which then at that point will be 3 o'clock your time.
No.
Other
Just
way.
use that bot.
Other way.
We are
It
going
would start
forward
an hour.
Oh, we're moving
It would-
forward.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
moving
it
One
would start an
o'clock.
hour
Yeah.
early for
We
Yeah.
me.
lose
That's
an hour.
why.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
it's gonna
that's
be-
why the Savage Static, like half the year is doing 3-hour nights, and the other half of the year are doing 2-hour nights.
Okay. Well, yeah. Hold on for just a second, Elaine. Well, I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's all good.
Can't
My
we
Sundays
use
are
one of
wide open.
those universal time things? There's
Probably.
Hopefully this year, hopefully it should finally go through.
that we don't have to
I
ever
haven't
do it
heard
again.
Jack all on the U.S. side, so
Yeah, I know that we have an agreement on the Ontario side that'll only
We're waiting for New
go
York to
through
pass
if
their legislation.
New York does it. Yeah.
So as of March 2nd, U.S. senators